Soundstripe.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, great. Just getting ready for the weekend. So,
Excited? You gonna watch the Rumble?
oh, absolutely. I was hoping to be there. I'm usually at the big shows, shooting photos for my outlet, but the Chiefs are playing Saturday or Sunday, so I was worried I was going to miss the Chiefs game. So,
Oh my
but I'll
goodness.
be at
The
Mania.
betrayal.
So,
The
yeah,
betrayal.
yeah. I guess my first question is, y'all be in town on February 5th, a week from this coming Monday. A lot can happen between then, with the Rumble. What can fans expect and on Monday Night Raw on the 5th? And where do you hope you're at when you're in St. Louis as far as your, you know, maybe a Rumble winner?
Maybe, Jeremy, maybe a
Yeah,
Rumble winner. I'm
definitely.
hurt. No, well, you can always expect a great show, full of energy, packed full of fun. You're gonna see some of your favorite superstars, mainly me. But I'm hoping by then, yes, I am the Royal Rumble winner and declaring who I will be facing at WrestleMania in the main event. But the good thing about WWE is that you can never, like, you can always try to predict what's going to happen, but as you can see, things constantly change. So you never know. It'll just be fun and entertaining.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend last night, and the one thing we both agreed on is this year's Rumble seems more open on men's and women's than we can ever remember before. I think anything's possible this year. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite on either side. Um,
Jeremy, you're continuously hurting my
Besides
feelings
you, of
here.
course. Besides you.
Gosh. Thank you. But no, you're right. I agree on that part just because I think that, WWE's been doing such a great job of building all these amazing superstars,
Mhm.
larger than life characters that it is anybody's game. I've have fallen to the numbers game in these rumbles. These women gang up on me because
Mhm.
they're so jealous of me, obviously.
Right.
And, I can't, but this time I'm going to come out with a different strategy. But for the men's rumble, I don't even know. I'm so curious and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. My favorite would most likely be Dominic Mysterio or maybe his brothers, Tom and Nick. I don't know. Um, should be entertaining. But either way, the Rumble is one of the most anticipated premium live events of the year, so it'll be fun.
I was thinking back to some of the segments I've seen you in over the years on Raw and how comedic some of them have been with, Alicia Fox and Enzo and things like that. Was there ever one where you know, broke character and, or were worried about breaking character on live TV?
Oh my gosh, the Enzo Amore one was very like I didn't know that we were going to do this angle where I was about to kiss him underneath the mistletoe. And I'll never forget, it was supposed to be Alexa Bliss comes in to interrupt us. And she waited so long to interrupt us that I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to have to kiss Enzo Amore on live TV right now, I don't know what's going to happen. That one was definitely, but she laughed later. She's like, ha, I got you. But my whole thing was off script. Uh, my whole him, and then I got thrown into the slipping during COVID. Like I had to slip and fall constantly. I don't know where that one came from, but that one I kind of went as an audible as well, slipping and swimming into a puddle. But you know, you get thrown into these random storylines or just being asked to do certain things, and I'm always willing to do whatever. I have no ego in the game. I'm down to do whatever is asked of me and to just entertain the people and have a good time.
You mentioned COVID. How difficult was it week in, week out to go out there and perform with no fans in the arena? Because I remember when it started, I was very happy to have something to take my mind off all the negativity going on in the world. But as it wore on, it's like we realized how important the fans were to the product. So how was that going out there every week with no one in the arena?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I had surgery. So my return was COVID. It was right when COVID hit. I remember I had been cleared for a little bit after double ACL surgery. I was cleared like I want to say 6.5, 7 months after surgery, but I was just sitting around because they weren't sure when they were going to re-debut me. And I got a call one morning. They said, "Hey, you need to come in. You're debuting again." I was like, "Oh my goodness." But this was the start of COVID. And so it was such a shock to walk out with my music playing.
Mhm.
No dead air, no reaction. No, you know what I mean? Like it's such a shock. And it really did. It gave us a bigger appreciation of the fans because, we can go out there and perform, but if we don't have them, then what we're doing doesn't really feel right. As everybody can see during COVID, when everybody's just like, okay, this is fun to watch, but it's hard without the audience involvement that we feed off of, as entertainers, we feed off the audience involvement. So but I do believe it actually helped people grow in their character. You saw a lot of characters kind of strive during COVID and like take off. So it was good to see things like that, but we definitely miss the fans and super glad to be back with all of them back in the arena.
Right now, I think the company is at an all-time high with sellout after sellout for shows. What is that like right now, being in this time when everything is just so successful with the WWE?
It's pretty incredible because I mean, I've been in here like technically around 10 years, on and off. And so I've seen it go from like one end to the other. The partnership with Netflix is like
Yeah.
next level, incredible. And to see how every live event we go to, we're selling out house shows, which like is pretty incredible as well. So like the wrestling, the WWE is incredible, but the fact that wrestling is still so popular now, like we're gaining this popularity that Attitude Era like, and people are really involved, really like it. So I'm super glad to be a part of it and to see how like WWE just continues to raise the bar in the wrestling world.
Have you ever, or is there a particular wrestler or someone in the business who gave you some really good advice one time, and would you like to share that?
Norman Smiley, he, the big wiggle. He always said, uh, at the end of the day, like the only things that matters are the miles. And so, who was it? I don't want to ruin it. The money and the miles, but he meant like enjoy everything
Mhm.
because at a time he said it's gonna come to an end and you're gonna be like, dang, I missed this, I missed that. He's like, but just try to like take it all in, like when you're on live events and you're driving 4 hours, like enjoy the moments you have with your road partner, and like those are the things that really matter. And he put everything in perspective, like go out there and have a good time, but realize what really matters on the outside. I love Norman Smiley.
When I was researching for this interview, I read an article that you had, when you were away from the company for a little bit, you got some farmland. And I read, I'm a big advocate for rescuing dogs myself. I rescue English bulldogs. So I
Oh,
wanted to ask you, where does that, how did you get involved with wanting to, have land and potentially rescue dogs? Is that something that is very special to you?
oh yeah, actually, you can't see him right now, but there's two rescues laying by my feet. But so my dog Benji, my first dog out here when I moved here, he was a rescue, and I got him from this farm in Claremont, and it's a big farm, and they rescue animals from the kill shelter.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was amazing. They have like these separate like kennels with like little obstacle courses for the dogs. Like they have such a good life. So when I bought my land out here, because my brother moved out here and he wants to, raise his family on a farm, I was immediately thinking like I'm gonna have to do the same thing. I'm gonna have to start rescuing animals. And it's so funny because I feel as though recently animals have just been being basically dropped at my front door. People have been abandoning them in my local dog park, and everybody in the neighborhood knows. They'll come knocking on my door. They're like, well, Lena will definitely take it. And I do. I take all the dogs and, give them a good home. And recently I have this English Bulldog mix. His name's Maui. He's so sweet. I'm just like, I sit here and wonder, like, how can anybody leave this guy behind?
Yeah.
He's the sweetest thing ever. And he's really good with children, which, people are like, be careful. No, my nephew loves him to death. But, I've always been a big animal lover. I'm actually rescuing farm animals too.
Okay.
I rescued a llama, a goat, a billy goat, and a pig. And then, people are like, "Hey, we can't take care of this." And so I'm like, "Bring them in." I have the space, I have the love and the food. So I'm a big fan of that. It actually feeds my soul to do that. It makes me happy. And like I said, that's what matters, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm a big fan. So yeah, my dog rescue is going to be built soon, and we're gonna start bringing in the pups.
Great. I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
The one thing that I really admire about the WWE, and I think that keeps me watching it after all these years, is not just the entertainment aspect, but the way the company helps children and works with, those with special needs. I just wrote a book about fans' experiences with professional wrestling, and I talked to a young guy here in St. Louis named Derek Baker, who has a following with Baker Banter. And like last show, you guys were in St. Louis, he was backstage with John Cena, and he gets to meet all the guys. He's become kind of a legend around with all the fans, like literally 50, 60 fans line up to meet him at shows.
Oh,
But how important is that to you? And what does it mean to you to be able to, put smiles on these young fans' faces and help put smiles on the faces of, people with disabilities and things like that?
that is probably the highest honor that you could get as a WWE superstar, because me myself, I don't think that I'm anything special. I'm just Nia or Lena. I'm not. But when I have the opportunity to one of these kids who are fighting a battle that's greater than anything I've ever fought, like to be able to make their day a little bit easier, put a smile on their face, let them enjoy, a little bit of time, that means everything. There's second to none of the feeling of being able to do that. And superstars like John Cena, who he loves that because he understands the power that he has, but he is very humbled into having that honor of giving a kid a smile, which truly actually does more for us than they ever know. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, and we look forward
Thanks,
to seeing you
Jeremy.
here on the 5th. And hey, good luck in the Rumble. I'm pulling for you. So
You better be.
I will be.
Since you're not going to make it out because of the Kansas City game, whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks,
Take care.
Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you.